Alright, today we have one goal, and that's to build a massive pirate island. Why? I don't know, but I think it'll look cool. Man, I really thought my face would be closer in color to the sunflowers. I thought I would blend right in, but it doesn't match at all. Hello, sheep. Alright, to get this project started, I'm coming to the edge of the river, where I'm first cleaning up all the messes that I've left previously, and then using yellow wool to shape out the area we're going to be building. Next up, you see this blue sphere suddenly appear, and that's because I want to shape out a skull. We're building a massive pirate island, and I think a skull is something that can give it that vibe that we're looking for. Piratey-ness. So, to get exactly what I was looking for, I spent roughly an hour having my phone right next to my computer and trying to shape out an atomically accurate skull. Next up, I added the wool on both sides of it to sort of support the skull, as well as an island off to the side to sort of balance the image out. And then I smoothed those, but still trying to give that bulbous, rocky look we had originally. Next up, you see the skull suddenly disappear, and that's because I moved it up above and turned everything to tough. I want to spend a second just texturing and focusing on the ground. So I'm adding moss to all the little different ledges, as well as then going through and texturing each of them, trying to add shadows and darkness as well. Shadows and darkness, shadows and light as well. Shadows and darkness are the same thing. Now we get on to the probably most time-consuming part of this project, the texturing, shading, gradienting, whatever you want to call it. I broke this up into 3 different parts. So there's this small little area I did here, and then we're about to cut to the next one, which is this area over here. And now you can see I've transitioned from adding a ton of shadow to moving into a ton more light areas and trying to break it up, as well as changing how the rocks could look. And originally, I was very uncomfortable with this. I wasn't sure that I was going to like this, and I was a little worried, but it was looking a little bit cool. So I devoted a lot of time to this specific area, making sure I had everything sorted, spending like, I think around 2 hours just texturing, and I moved the skull back in to check if I liked it, as well as turning it to the proper color. That's right, we're going for a bone color for this skull, which isn't gruesome at all, just don't think about it. Next up, we're adding some shading using some birch, and more birch, that's about it, as well as a little bald spot on the top. I don't know what that was about, but I tried adding water into the skull to make it like crying, and I didn't really like it, so I ended up removing it. But next up, we're moving on to texturing the rest of it, because that's right, there are a lot of different islands that we need to texture. There's these 2 different cliffs, as well as 3 smaller islands in front of this entire area. Now, I did get some feedback from you guys saying that you wanted less camera movement, so I tried to make these shots extremely static. Let me know what you think. With just the bulbous rocks going on right now, we have a bit of a blank canvas, so I want to add in a couple of different trees to add some more detail to this area. So I planned out 5 different trees going with various heights and widths and leaf sizes, and then pasted those around. You can see me adding little stones to them so that I could paste them in. I also then changed the biome color to jungle, which is why you see the water change, and the jungle leaves now look a lot brighter. I'm pretty sure I'm happy with it, although now we're adding in some beaches. Going through at the bottom and adding in some different variation, as well as trying to texture and shade it, and then also making the beaches dip into the water a little bit to give it some nice slope. Next up, we're focusing on this island specifically right here and extending the beach over to meet it. Now, this is where I want to add our first big detail that we're going to have in this pirate island, and that's a little house. So I'm using deep slate as a foundation and then building up with dark oak, mangrove, and pale oak wood to build out the house. Now, for this entire Minecraft map that I've been building, I've built a ton of houses, but they've been very rushed, and I haven't had time to really focus on the details and get them to look the way I like. So for this house, I'm trying to correct that and really spend a lot of time refining it. So you see me going through, adding gradients, fixing up a ton of details, spent over an hour just working on this one small little house. I tried to make sure that everything looked like run down and like it was well used. I also experimented a lot with nether brick, trying to get the roofs that way, as well as adding in a little pier and this pathway over there, and I really am happy with how it turned out. Alright, now we can start on my favorite little detail in this area, and it's not even that little, it's this massive ship. It looks a little weird because I forgot to delete the original thing I used to map the entire thing out, but I'm about to do that. And once that's gone, we can start by coloring the bottom of the ship brown. I'm using mushroom blocks as well as dark oak on the bottom. Now the bottom looks a little darker, and that's because ships during this time period had a different color on the bottom and the top because they used different materials for buoyancy and things like that. And after coloring it, as well as adding gradients and texturing to not only the hull of the ship, but the little cabin as well, I then added some small little portholes and other details that made the ship look really nice, as well as fixing the bow, And then I moved on to adding sails. Now I want 2 of these, and I want them to be slightly angled, as well as getting some sails. Now I mapped these out with calcite, but also used walls and white stained glass to get the proper shaping that I want later on. I also used fences to add rigging or rope, whatever you want to call it, and then started working on the final sail, also using calcite to map that one out, and added a small little rudder and some other little details, and then pasted it in where I wanted it to. Next, with all the details that I want to get in this area finished up, it's time to add in the final details, which is mostly just adding grass to all the moss that we have lying around. Now, I tried to make this shot cinematic by making it slowly rise up, but really there's just a tree in the way and blocking most of the view. But we cut to a different angle now, where we're adding in the grass on a different cliff. And in this one, it's a lot less poorly cinematically done, but I'm really happy with how this area comes out once we add the grass. The jungle does make it look a bit vibrant, but it's okay. And now we can start working on the ship, adding some cannons and cargo to finally finish off what is probably my favorite thing in this area. I know I just said it, but I really love how this came out. You can see the gradient a lot more clearly with this closer shot, and it looks so good. I'm a little iffy on the sails, but the rest of it, I'm so happy with. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay, with those final details to the ship right there, and all the grass added in, we are done. The project is finished. And if you have made it to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And for those of you who asked for the Patreon, I am working on setting it up. I just am procrastinating it right now. I am so happy with how this area came out. I don't think it's done. I think we could still add more if we wanted to, like more of these houses. Or more ships even, like a wrecked ship over there could look super cool, like nestled. For right now, I am happy with what we've completed, and I would like to get a video out soon, as I'm feeling a little bit tired of this project right now. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. I'm not going to build any more of this for a little bit. We're going to move to something else. And I will see you guys all later. Oh yeah, and subscribe. How do you end a video?